Live from beautiful Oahu, Hawaii, this is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, my friends, traders, students, fans, followers from around the world? How's everyone doing this beautiful Tuesday? It is Tech Giant Tuesday in the building. It's a pleasure to have you here. Cheryl, how are you? Charles Wade, what's going on? Gary, Helen's in the house. What's going on, Helen? How are you? Lad, pleasure to have you here again. Richard, what's going on? RT, Sham from Connecticut, what's up, buddy? Tell the wife and daughter. Hope everyone's doing well. Viarbra from the Czech Republic, how's it going? Wendell, what's up? Winnie Lee, how are you, Winnie? Hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. So today I know that I'm kind of in the dark and you can see some stuff over here. So the light's kind of weird today. If you're watching the actual video of this, I'll be turning it off in a little bit so that I can see my own screen. But yeah, it's pretty warm here right now. It is warm in Hawaii. Just got back from a quick run, ready to snag some lunch. I'm pretty hungry. So it's only noon right now. So from noon to 1 Hawaii time, 5 to 6 Eastern. I'm excited. Going rowing tomorrow morning with a brand new real life trader. His name is Chris, and I met him at the Hawaii Real Life Trader Meetup. So he's really into rowing. So we're gonna go rowing tomorrow, which I don't think I've ever done, especially on the ocean. So that should be kind of cool, right? So that's at 6:30 tomorrow morning, which I've never been up that early in my life to go rowing. So why not? Why not get it done? Linderman says, are you wearing another collared shirt? Yeah, man. I got like 3 or 4 of these things that have collars on them. Crazy, I know. All right, let me turn off my video so I don't scare any kids if they walk by. Charles says, tell me you're going fishing while you were there. Check and check. Went spearfishing this weekend, which was a great experience. Something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to go scuba diving and spearfishing. I haven't done that yet. But that's next on the list for sure. Yeah, man, absolutely. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, let's get rocking and rolling today. So most of you are aware that we have a weekly options newsletter this week. Obviously, the free open house week for the world, letting everybody in on how epic real life trading and all the traders here are, which is including you beautiful people, mostly including all of you. So the SPY weekly options newsletter did trigger today. I'm already confident that we can lose less than an R. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So you'll notice on Friday, I mentioned and kind of posted that I'm expecting a small rest on Monday, which happened, and likely a pop higher on Tuesday or Wednesday. So here's something as a little bit of a learning tip if you want to jot this one down. Anytime you're trading an option that expires within really 3 weeks or less, you always want to have what's called a time stop. So anytime I'm trading an option, especially a directional one, I have a certain date by which I want the trade to actually work by. So the trade has triggered in. What's today? The 10th, right? 10/17. The weekly options newsletter triggered. I want, need, expect SPY to make a higher high by the end of the week. If it doesn't, this trade likely will not be a winner. Okay, so that's kind of just my expectation. So I do like today's candle. I'm not upset by it. The volume, a little bit bearish, yes, but this easily could just turn into a flag pattern. So, I mean, you have this resistance right here. We have 4 white candles in a row. We broke out. We've retested the 10. Could we bounce here? Absolutely. Are we going to? That part I just don't know. Right? Pretty much every time I'm into a weekly options newsletter, very, very often, I'm like, oh, geez, this trade's going to lose. I think it's going to happen all the time. You just never know, right? You never know what the market's going to do. What I can say for sure is we absolutely do have a lower high here on the SPY. So we do have a lower high on the SPY. We do have a higher low. So yes, the next 2 weeks until the inauguration, which I believe is next Friday, we could do something like this and then break out, which is okay, right? If we lose small, but we get into the really big winning trade, then it's all worth it, right? That's kind of the goal. And on this particular weekly options newsletter, we're going to have a lot to talk about today, so we're going to get started in just a second. I didn't really know which trade to take, and I still might be doing some more next week with earnings season right around the corner. But SPY was there. We're going to get to Apple and everything later, but here's the Qs. And the Qs, and today is Tech Giant Tuesday, you have 6 white candles in a row. So tomorrow, yeah, probably expecting a little bit of a slower day tomorrow, Thursday, and then maybe again a pop on Friday potentially. The Qs made another all-time high today, and the IWM also looks a little bit more bullish than bearish, but the Dow, the DIA, didn't look so much bullish. It looks a little more sideways to bearish. So we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to say on the weekly options newsletter. You can't let the fear of losing money or the fear of being wrong sway you from what your plan is. I wrote down on Friday what I wanted the SPY to do, and it did it today, so I had to take the trade. So let's go ahead and get started into today's setups. We have a lot to look at. I'm going to go ahead and add Skyworks Solutions to this list because we are already we are in a trade on Skyworks Solutions and an Iron Condor. So this is a trade that most of us have been in for a few weeks now on Skyworks Solutions. So if you're in that trade so far, everything is looking decently fine on Skyworks, and don't really see an issue on it presently. So just kind of checking in on that one. That's pretty much it. Skyworks looking fine. All right, so the first on the list today is United Technologies, ticker symbol UTX. And United Technologies, let's make magic. I'm going to pull a weekly chart up just to see what this stock is doing. United Technologies. Okay, so I'm looking for a strong pivot, and I see one. So there's a really good support resistance line right about here. And you might wonder how I looked and found that particular price point. Well, what I was really doing when I looked at the daily chart is I was trying to determine what's the strongest. I almost said most strongest, but I didn't. That would have been terrible grammar. I didn't say it. So I almost did, though. What would have been the most strongest support resistance price on United Technologies relative to where we are now? So right when I pulled up the daily chart, I said, okay, there's a pivot right about here. Let me see if I can see that on the weekly. So I pulled up the weekly chart, and there's the pivot right there. So then that price coincided with this one right here and this one right here. So I figured I would draw it. So UTX, what would be the plan on this? Well, it appears that the trend is pretty bullish. Earnings is right around the corner. So realistically, your plan would be on United Technologies. Trend looks bullish. Buy the dip, especially if UTX gaps down but opens above the 50 EMA. That's it. Am I going to take this trade? No. Keep in mind and just remember that there's no way I can trade every one of these stocks that we're looking at. I technically could if I took like $1 and took every single trade, but that wouldn't make any sense. So even if you had a multi-million-dollar account, you probably still wouldn't take all these trades. So all I'm going to do is realistically, some people want to look at this stock, 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 some people look at this. Some people don't want to look at anything other than price line. You know, so it really is all about you guys. If I was here just looking at what I want to look at, it'd be a very slow day. We'd be here about 6 minutes and then we'd be gone because my list is pretty small and I look at the same things very, very often. So just as a reminder, as an update for those requested or want to look at UTX, this is kind of my longer term analysis. It probably won't transpire into any kind of potential profits in the next week. But something like that, if you're looking at playing it long term, that's what I would just simply keep an eye on. That's UTX. Neil says, I'm going to naked put 108 for January 20th. Look at that. See, great put sale, great location. Thank you, Mr. Niels Christensen. How's the lady, by the way, Neil? Sandra doing okay? All right, 108. When's the next time you're coming back up to Nashville? I need to make it down to Dallas, though. Niels C120. Got it. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to gloat or anything. I'm just going to brag on Niels for a second. He has had one losing week with his naked put strategy since May of 2016. One down week, and it wasn't even that bad. So anyway, just high five, Niels. You're awesome, man. You're amazing. You're my hero. Okay, so there's UTX done. Next on the list is Shopify. Shopify, took some SHOP. I forget who wanted to look at this one earlier today. Anyway, here's the weekly chart on Shopify, and this is one of the tech stocks that I have liked for a while. I'm sure most of you have been tracking this one with me ever since its IPO, and the first time I traded it down here. Shopify is kind of like a technology application to build websites and use that websites for checkout purposes and e-commerce purposes, which is going to be a big thing in the future for sure, people building websites. So Shopify breaking out of a distribution phase. I do believe I posted a longer term perspective on this one, and if I didn't, I will do that now. But I'm like 93.486% sure that I did do that. Let me just go look. Shopify. Yes, I did. All right, so 4 days ago. So I will put that in the chat pane just in case you want to take a sneak peek at that. But here's my analysis on Shopify. I do think this is a wave 4 that just happened. We're in a wave 5 right now. Obviously, if you are not in the trade on Shopify, you're kind of missing a little bit. So you probably would wait for a pullback down to like 45 and some change for like a longer term trade. Here's the daily, and the daily chart, you have a very nice little triangle pattern right here. Here's the daily. You've got on a smaller time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we could probably have like an ABC, smaller pullback down into 45, and then likely a bounce. Longer term, bullish is the direction on Shopify. At least in my opinion, that's the direction you'd be keeping an eye on if you're looking to take a trade, and then from there, move on. That's also another reason and another benefit for the afternoon swing trading room, right? If you have the direction of a trade, then you can really, at that point, nail down which strategy that you prefer. So a lot of traders just want to know the direction because they're like, I just want a second pair of eyeballs, even though mine are squinty, to look at and kind of see and figure out what is the direction of this particular stock. So on Shopify, for me, this is a check mark in the bullish checkbox. And that's how you want to be looking at playing this one on Shopify. Next on the list is LN, which is Line Company. This is one that I was watching a lot in the fall portfolio of real life trading. And this is a social media networking application company that's really popular in the Asian markets. This thing is volatile, guys. It went from 50 to 34 in the blink of an eye and is now below some really, really good support. What is most interesting, though, is this gap action right here. Very strong bullish gap and go on Line Corporation just the other day. And this looks like it could be a flag pattern. So tomorrow / Thursday, mostly Thursday, tomorrow early AM and Thursday, watch for the breakout of flag. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down here, write this down. Wednesday morning, LN. There you go. So that could be a day trade. That could be a short-term swing trade. For a longer-term swing trade, I would wait till we get above this 36.76 level. Obviously, a clear resistance. Right now, the trend is bearish on all time frames except the minor level. Minor level being right here, which minor level can turn into an intermediate, can turn into a primary bullish trend, as you guys all know. But the difference of your trend time is correlated to how long you plan on being in the trade, right? So if you're looking at a trade, it's like, all right, this is a primary bearish trend right now. You want to get some more signals or some more candles or some more price points or something before getting in that long-term bullish. I mean, at least, a double bottom or a similar support or a gap or some volume of some kind, if you're getting in long-term. Anyway. All right, that's LN. There we go. Next on the docket is ILMN, which is interesting that we posted this one yesterday. I had one trader say, Jeremy, did you know that this was a gap up 16%? And I laughed a hearty laugh, and I said no. Because that would be amazing if I knew this would be up 16%. I think all of you would know about it. This is an advanced medical equipment technology company. Up 16.5%. Very volatile cookie, this one. And here's your weekly chart on ILMN. And realistically, I think we do trade up higher for anyone who has the bankroll to take this trade up into about 185. This is the support resistance zone that I'm seeing. And another takeaway from trading channels, ladies and gentlemen, is it's very rare by the time you spot a channel, okay? If it's in the third or fourth phase, it's very, very rare that you're going to get a perfect bounce, okay? You can jot that down forever. That's just a Newsom nugget for you. You very rarely get that just crisp bounce right off that support. What usually happens is it breaks a little bit lower to trap all the people who found it on the charting software or scanners or whatever, and then it bounces, right? That's why it's good to, if you're looking at a channel, make sure, depending on how long it's been in that channel, to just keep your eyes out, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th time, it's like, yeah, it broke through a little bit. But that's okay, right? Keep that in mind. Channels still hold. And this is actually, I don't know if he's listening to this recording or not, but I'll give him a shout out. Tejas brought this to my attention like, oh, geez, 4 years ago on not on the stock, but just in general, that if a stock does have a false breakout on one side, so this will be a false bearish breakout, that it probably will have a false bullish breakout of the same size before returning back into the channel. So something to keep in mind on IMLN. If you're playing it, I'm not playing this one bullish personally, but it is one you're welcome to keep your eyes on. Strong bullish gap today on aluminum. All right, let's get into the big leagues. Here's Apple. Oh, snap. Oh, boy. Apple. All right, so ticker symbol AAPL. Ladies and gentlemen, today was the pullback. I was talking about this one all day yesterday with Ricky and Mikey and a lot of other traders out there. This is another one I was like, am I going to take this trade on Apple with a weekly options newsletter or SPY? And again, kind of a coin flip. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullish candles in a row. If you're playing Apple, just keep in mind earnings is near. If you're playing the options, buy the dip. Today was a dip. Will it dip farther? That part I do not know. So if you're looking to play Apple, here's my simple analysis. 110.17. Buy the dip. Limit buy on calls or shares into earnings. Pretty much it. If you want to sell a put, you're welcome to. There's no real premium in bull put spreads. Also got the 130 February covered call on Apple. Would not mind getting exercise up there. That wouldn't scare me at all. With the Qs being at all-time highs and Apple being at this resistance, that's the reason I'm just being a little patient on this one. If we get the opportunity to do an official trade on it, beautiful. But for my more advanced traders on Apple, just make sure you're cool with the option prices and you're not going to over leverage yourself because it could pull back easily to 117 and some change before it bounces. So don't think just because I'm bullish on the trade that I'm going to get a home equity line of credit and then buy all of that worth of call options, okay? I'm totally fine with it being in this general range. If it takes out the low of Friday's candle, then I'll be like, and I'll start waiting. I'll likely get stopped out of some shorter term positions on Apple if that happens. But as of right now, earnings is not close, but it's near. So if you're looking at it, probably 120 or 119 call options would be the way to go on Apple, and I'll let you guys pick the expiration. Type of 1 if you're cool on Apple. If you have any questions, let me know. Neil says, I'm with you on the 130. All right. Niels C. Yeah, again, no real premiums for put sales or bull put spreads. You do 119 or 120 calls. And again, I'll let you kind of determine the expiration dates. Really, I mean, you could be pretty comfortable with like a February week 1 calls. Those would probably be more than likely, if we get triggered into a weekly options trade on this one next week, or even later this week, it'll probably be the February week one. All right, cool. Looks like you guys are good to go on Apple. That's my analysis on it. Facebook. Here's Facebook. So Stephen King and a few other traders, Mikey and I think a few others, are keeping their eyes on Facebook today. The highs of today and yesterday are almost the exact same. So about 417 times yesterday. This is the analysis that I talked about on Facebook. Really good resistance based on this gap action. And you have a lot of white candles in a row with increasing volume. This being a double bottom pattern, likely you're going to get a retest. So for the next 2 to 3 days, maybe a little bit more, you could see a slight pullback on Facebook and then likely a bounce. I do think this gap fills, especially this year. Let's go ahead just for giggles. Let's look at and project, if I may, a 2017 target on Facebook. I just need to find out what wave I want to use. I trade Facebook often. Big fan. Probably going to be this one. Oh, wow. Well, makes sense that we pull back at the 1618, right? Made sense. Okay, so if I were to draw what I really think happens on Facebook. That's my thought. Coming almost into 2018, yep. Facebook, 2017, targets, and projections. Just my thoughts. This is freehand, no programming. Because I get traders asked all the time, how do you program these lines? I don't program them. No programming or algo, even though I could build one. Okay, mostly this year I'll be looking for short-term plays and bullish to neutral positions, stocks, covered calls, put sales. All right, that's my thoughts on Facebook. So we trade Facebook all the time, especially with put sales. A lot of traders have shares, covered calls. You can see on there that we already have some traders that got some put sales. I don't have any in this current wave just because I think I was too lazy to do it, honestly. That I'm a tad leveraged right now with put sales for January. So let's let those expire worthless first, and then I'll probably start doing some more for February. But again, with earnings coming up and whatever, I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. So that's kind of what I'm thinking happens on Facebook. There we go. All right, so I can delete that. And again, you feel welcome to follow us on TradingView. It is free, and anytime I do post a link, you get it into your email inbox. So that's my thoughts on Facebook, both long and short term. BABA, I posted my long-term analysis on BABA earlier today. I might as well just keep this posted. I have a January week 4 put sale at 85, which I'll be looking into buying to close this week. I am bullish on BABA for this year. So here's kind of my, where is it? Here's my BABA 2017 target, which is just pre-market IPO high, that 116.72 area. So you'll notice a pretty clear wave rotation on BABA. Bam, 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 wave 4, wave 5. Right? And inside this wave 5, we'll get a 1, 2, 3, an ugly wave 4, and then a wave 5. In fact, I could probably just draw that and put that in here below it. That wouldn't be a bad idea. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inside this 5, we're going to have likely a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that. I'll put that in that idea. That wave 4 is going to be ugly. Now, is this going to happen exactly? No. not to the exact price, just my plans. Just another update on the longer term perspective. What this allows me to do, and us as traders, when we plan something like this, is let's say I come back and it's the middle of the year and BABA is back down to here, right? Let's say that's exactly what happens. And I'm pulling up this BABA and then I'm like, you know what? Let me go back to my chart that I posted 6 months ago and see what I thought was going to happen on BABA. And so when BABA's down here, what do you think I'm going to be doing at that point, folks? I'm going to be looking to buy it. So this is present Jeremy telling future Jeremy, and at the time in the future, I am currently the present Jeremy, but in the future, I'll be the past Jeremy. So the past Jeremy, who is futurely going to be the future Jeremy, is going to listen to the past Jeremy, who is currently the present Jeremy, because I know what I'm planning right now. And that's kind of the objective and the goal. And if you re-record and listen to what I just said, it's going to make total sense. So on Alibaba, this is going to be my objective and my goal. And I'll figure out exactly how we're going to be moving into that area. But I am bullish on it into the end of the year. And that's just kind of my goal. And that's what I'm thinking. Questions, concerns, thoughts, or oppositional viewpoints, ladies and gentlemen, so far. And I'm going quick, but hey, we're here, we're trading. What it is, what we got. Shorter term on BABA, which we haven't totally looked at. You are at a target today. So Justin, Jeffrey, and a few other traders, you hit the 100 simple moving average. On a short-term time frame, you got a 1, 2, 3. So this would be the wave 4, which would be coinciding with the wave 2 that I just drew earlier. And then we'll probably get that wave 5 into earnings. So earnings could be really interesting. Justin said, I'm out with 1.25. I'm out with an Good job, Justin. Nicely done, sir. Proud of you, man. So Justin Jeffs snagging an Great bullish candle right here, by the way. This was the candle that started it. Started from the bottom, now we're here. You had a double bottom, new white soldier candle, close with a neckline, close with a 200, buy low, sell high, all that jazz. All that jazz. And then we just traded right up into the target today. So BABA for a short-term move, good job. That's it on BABA. Mark says SRPT. I'll probably have to put SRPT on for tomorrow's list, Mark. We got 30 minutes left and a stacked deck. Here's Google, ticker symbol GOOGL, one of the stocks that I'm always bullish on. And this analysis that you're going to see on Google and Amazon, some of the best analysis I've done in a while, and I'm really happy about it. Even though I missed this trade on Friday and I'm still kind of feel sick to my stomach, that would have been 8 Rs with weekly options. Good grief, that would have been a good trade. So really, as we were trading up here, this pink line is my wave rotational drawing of what I thought and think Google's going to do. Who can read my mind and tell me why I drew that? It's going to be a pretty easy mind reading opportunity right now. But who can tell me why I drew that wave rotation on Google, what I was thinking at the time when I drew it? So you'd have to go back in the past, which on this day, we have the recording of it as well. But why did I draw that? Well, to answer the question, really it's because we have a double bottom right here. And all that drawing was me just saying, okay, well, we got the double bottom. Double bottoms are usually going to retest. So as it pulls back into this price, this is where I'm going to be looking to go bullish. So Charles, Carey, high five. You guys rock. You're absolutely correct. So that simply says when you create a drawing like that, or when you create an idea, what that does is it gives you a future confidence boost, if you will. When the trade is doing exactly what you planned it to do, you're like, all right, I planned for this. So when it comes into this area, you're looking down here to get in bullish on Google. And of course, this one white soldier candle that came in on this day, that was also kind of the start of it. And you can see that's where I was looking to get in bullish also as well with a break above that. So now what on Google? Well, here's your weekly chart. And the weekly chart, good little break. We're still battling this resistance. I kind of feel like on Google, we will hang out in this realm. This is a great resistance right here. I do think we're going to go higher. Beautiful double bottom. I mean, we're going to make a new all-time high this year on Google, almost unquestionably. But if we don't, I'll be looking to buy the dip down here in the 740 area if that ever happens or occurs. Now, I can say this, back over here on the daily chart on Google, you have two very, very, very small candles. So let's hop in here to the hourly chart, get a chance to look at what this looks like. And on Google, I'm not going to make anything official right here. For those of you who are, you'll know who you are when I write this in. I'm going to write in aggressive day trade. Dave says, how often does it retest like that? Double bottoms, retests. I don't know the exact percentage, but let's just say 60% of the time. Aggressive day trade, and then I'm going to copy this one. Clone it, aggressive day trade. So we have two really small candles in a row. That is what I'm looking for. Here's your pennant pattern. Ladies and gentlemen, on Google, if we get it again tomorrow, beautiful. These prices are going to be simply me telling myself, present Jeremy telling future Jeremy, that, hey, man, if we're breaking above here, you want to get in bullish. Let's see if we can snag a gain on Google. Next on the list is Netflix. Where's Amazon? Why don't I have Amazon on here? Put Amazon after Netflix. Netflix. So here's Netflix, and Amy is looking at buying some call options today on Netflix. Can anyone tell me why she thought about buying call options on Netflix? Well, pretty simple, actually. Stock broke out of an all-time high, so she's just buying it on the retest. Is it going to work, Carrie? Is it going to bounce? No idea, right? You never know. If I could tell the future, we would be some very rich people very quickly. So the cool part is when you're trading, when you're creating a stock market plan, you never know the future. All you know is what you can do. And what you can do is follow a plan. Mathematically, I can give you very few mathematical facts in the stock market, but here's one of them. If you lose less money than you make, you will be profitable. So as long as you create your plan, follow your plan, and lose small, you should be a profitable trader with those 3 small steps, right? Create a plan, follow your plan, and lose small. So is it going to do this? Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out probably tomorrow or the next day. I do know she's going to get out before earnings, which are next week. Now, listen to this part very closely on Netflix, because the last time I said something like this, some traders made enough money to buy their houses in cash. If Netflix trades down into earnings, so if it looks like this, if we stay below Friday's high and we trade lower on Netflix, staying above this candle, and we gap into this all-time high area on Netflix, we're going to go higher. It's going to look very, very similar to this gap right here if this happens coming into earnings. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and create for you guys an earnings setup. Setup is just going to be a plan. I mean, anywhere in here should be wild. Okay. I'm going to draw this. Taking too long. Where's the drawing? Okay. Netflix pre-earnings analysis. Notice how the last gap on Netflix was a very strong bullish gap and go. That is likely going to be the case again if Netflix stays below its Friday's high into earnings and then gaps up into the all-time high area. It's gone. A gap down, we will see. Netflix is at a very strong resistance resistance. If Netflix does gap down, I'll look for the price to buy it. Okay. That's it on Netflix. So really the last time, some of the last analysis on Netflix, I mean, Netflix was the main reason that I'm in Hawaii right now, was Netflix for 2016. Very, very good stock to me. Very happy about it. All right, so there we go. Netflix earnings done. Niels and Dean have a put sale expiring this Friday. I like those. Niels and Dean looks good. Charles says your future self is going to say your past self was persistent in the present at the time. LOL. You know it. You know it. All right, so that's Netflix. I like it. I dig it. Interesting to see what she does. Amazon. So Amazon and Google the last 2 to 3 weeks, I was really, really excited about what was happening. So check this analysis out. This was back on the 3rd of January, 2017, which that day was right here. So let me point to that day. Just kind of give you the analysis and the notes. Trust me, folks, I've been in a lot of other trading rooms, and no one keeps their notes around this long for you on their charts. I do that so that we all know every single day what we're looking at, what we can expect, and what we're thinking. So on Amazon, on the 3rd of January, I mentioned Amazon broke down a tad bearish out of the triangle. I made the word tad big because I didn't really think it was going to go bearish because it's in a bullish trend long term. Best case scenario for the bears, I think a trade down and a bounce off the 200 simple moving average. I'll be looking for a bullish gap that traps these bears to go long. So that was my analysis. So let me pull up the 200 simple moving average, and that's about as clear as a trading plan that you can get, right? Well, the interesting thing is the very next day, you'll notice that we closed, the high of that candle on the 3rd of January was 758.76. The open of the very next day was 758.39. So we opened right at and above the high of that bearish candle. So ladies and gentlemen, did that candle have a gap up that trapped a bearish candle? Yes or no? And the answer is yes. So really the analysis from there was, all right, we have a very small candle at this point, very, very tiny. I'm going to bracket trade that candle, and then I'm going to crush it. And that's exactly what happened. Small candle, very nice gap the next day, which was also a bullish gap that trapped the bears of the January 4th candle, because the January 4th candle was bearish, gapped up, traded to its target in one day. So just that analysis in itself, based on nothing else other than candles and gaps on Amazon, and I guess you can say chart patterns, is what's helped me take that trade on Amazon. So now, what now? What now, Mr. Newsom? Well, we're in a triangle. We broke out of a triangle, in my opinion. So now we wait for the retest, right? Now we look to get in bullish on the retest. I don't think we make it back down to here. This is 730. Look to play the retest. Lad, I wish I had enough money to trade Amazon with stocks, but that was options. Look to play the retest. All right, 110.17. Amazon has broken out of a triangle with volume, with gaps. Everything is confirmed, in my opinion. Look to buy the dip or a breakout. So this is very important to understand and to remember. So let's say that I have a line at 777.30 on Amazon, okay? But let's say hypothetically tomorrow, Amazon opens right here. I'm not saying that it will, but let's just say that it does. What would we do, ladies and gentlemen? What type of gap would that be? Lad, you tell me, brother. What type of gap would that be? Well, better yet, instead of name, it is a gap and go, but let's rank it on a 1 to 10. 10 being the most glorious bullish gap you've ever seen in all of your life, and 1 being Jeremy is more blind than a circus fruit bat doing hula hoop tricks in a dark auditorium on midnight wearing a black sweater. How would you rate this gap? We got an 8. We got an 8.5. We got a 7. We got a 6. We got a 5. It's going down. Got another 5. We got a 10 from Justin Jeffrey. We got a 9 from Charles Wade. We got an 8 from Wendell. I'm going to rate this, honestly, a 9.376. Almost a perfect 10. Why am I ranking it so high? Well, number 1, I said everything is confirmed, so it's already bullish. All right, it's already bullish. You're going to be gapping above 2 small bearish candles, so you're going to be, bullish gap and go. You're going to be gapping above this bearish candle pivot. You're going to be gapping above this bearish gap pivot. You're going to be gapping above that bearish candle pivot. What else do you need to see? Kind of thing. It's like, hey, this is it. Doesn't matter if it's going to work or not, right? Just like I mentioned just a few seconds ago, it doesn't matter if we're going to be right on the trade. What matters is, did we trade the plan, which I just did? My plan is here. So if tomorrow, by some crazy circumstance, Amazon gaps up to there, I'm going to get in with calls with my eyes closed. If it doesn't, then I'm like, all right, cool. I'll wait for the next day to see what happens. And if it trades down to here, then I'll be looking to get on a retest. And then if, Wednesday is a non-event, and then I can say, all right, well, Thursday, let's see if we gap. 10 to 1, if that makes sense. And that helps at all. So really, it's keeping it simple. Notice I don't have any indicators or anything on my screen. It's just I'm looking at the gap. I'm planning the trade. From there, who knows what happens? I have no idea. That's not the point. The point is not to know exactly what happens. You'll never know exactly. The point is, can you plan it in advance and then do it? All right, so that's Amazon. Done. Ready to go. I got to start rocking and rolling here. Pier 1 Imports, ticker symbol PIR. Pier 1 had a beautiful bullish gap and go on earnings, and since then hasn't done very much. Pier 1 Imports, probably one of their weaker retailers, but on a weekly chart, man, oh man, it is breaking out of a channel. I think I'm going to keep waiting on Pier 1 Imports. I agree that it's bullish, but the fact that this stock, aka Pier 1 Imports, has increased over 100% return since November, I think I'm chasing it a little bit. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time for it to trade sideways. I'm going to put Pier 1 Imports on the list again next week. By the way, just as a reminder, the market is closed on Monday. So I'll be sending out some emails on Monday and over the weekend just as a reminder. But for those who sign up, who are brand new, who want to continue trading with us at Real Life Trading and experiencing these awesome analysis, and jokes and commentary and trades and motivation and money management, all that kind of good stuff, the market will be closed on Monday, so I'll be seeing you on Tuesday, a week from today. Let's go look at DBA, and this is a stock that I wanted to see. I kind of like this one longer term. I know the volume is light. I get that on average. So this is one I'd be trading with shares. I'm thinking about adding this into my longer term portfolio, mostly out of sentimental reasons. Agricultural, I lost someone close to me a few months back who was big into the agricultural world, and I remember trading the stock a long time ago and losing money on it. So now I want to buy it again. You'll notice that it's back out of support. Really good support at 1963-ish. And on the daily charts, you got volume increase with a double bottom. So I'm going to be looking at DBA, the PowerShares Agricultural Fund, for a longer term. Boring, buy and hold, not exciting. I don't believe it pays dividends. Just, I don't mind throwing a few thousand at it just to see what it does. Mostly, like I mentioned, for sentimental reasons. So that's DBA. I'm going to put that on the list again on Wednesday, but just letting you know that was a longer term and really it's confirmed as of today. Great candle, great. There's your double bottom retest, Dave. You were just asking me earlier how often that happens. There's the double bottom. There's the neckline. There's the retest yesterday. Today, continuation higher. Mark says, for Friday, American Express. I thought I had it on the list, but I don't. You got it, Mark. There we go. All right, DBA done. Oh, geez. I need to start flying. Let's go look at Yelp. Really, I think there's only one trader in Yelp, and that was Dan. Mr. Dan Walsh. He had himself a $32 January put sale expiring not this Friday, but next Friday. Dan, going to be good to go on that one, brother. Well done. Keep up the good work. Bed Bath & Beyond, ticker symbol BBBY. Let's see if it's doing anything interesting. The daily charts, weekly charts. Nope, it's not doing anything interesting yet. But if it closes above 42.65, that would be, in my personal opinion, a double bottom at support. So let's see if it can close above that neckline. I'll put it on the list for later in the week. Next Tech Giant Tuesday is going to be pretty busy as well. So Bed Bath & Beyond, nothing really to see here. Target, very nice little doji candle. The only trader I know in Target right now is Stan with a $70 January put sale. Here's the weekly chart, and you'll notice the weekly charts. You do have a pretty decent support on Target at this level, right? So right here, the 67.33 price range, pretty decent level. I don't know if it's going to make it back down there or not, but if it does, I think it could be a relatively decent buying opportunity. So that's kind of why Stan's selling some puts in that general area. He doesn't mind buying low, selling high. However, put Target on your watch list because that is the Chris Hemsworth Hammer of Thor candle right there. You got a very nice little doji, and the last 4 days are a pennant pattern. So if you get a big bullish gap, I'm actually going to put this on the list tomorrow. If I get a gap down tomorrow, right here, that's going to trap the bulls. Would you guys agree? If it gaps up here, that's going to trap some of the bears who've been shorting the last 3 days. So I'm going to put that one on the list tomorrow just to see if it's gapping. And if it is, I'll look to trade it. And if it's not, I won't do anything with it. So there's Target. All right, next on the list, 3D printing. Type in a 1 if you got a chance to trade this one bearish today and made some money. I will type in a 1. I made less than Charles, less than Melanie, but I made money on it, enough to buy a, double cheeseburger meal or something somewhere. Justin said, my 3-year-old son just said, trap some bears. What does that mean? It's a great question. Looks like you're going to have some explaining to do, Justin, to your son. I like it. Trapping the bears. Charles says, I traded it twice, 1.3R total. So this is actually one that I mentioned in Slack. If you're not signed up for Real Life Trading yet, you don't have access to Slack, but we'll get you guys in there. Don't worry. We were talking about DDD yesterday. And I was like, hey, guys, I'm looking at playing this one bearish tomorrow. Why would I do that? Very simple. Double bottom pattern, giant candle yesterday looking for a retest. So you guys starting to see a pattern here? I trade these often. So when you have a double bottom, I'm like, all right, well, let's see if we rotate down and trade down to that neckline. It wasn't quite as easy as it sounds on the 5-minute chart, but if you traded it bearish, you didn't lose money on it, and that's the good news. So here's the 5-minute. Both myself and Charles were just a little too aggressive with our stops, but either way, you made good money on 3D printing, shorting it with a gap down. You had a 5-minute white candle after the gap down, which is my favorite candle to see on the gap. And all it was doing was just retesting this neckline of this double bottom. So that's, hey, if you're like, all right, the stock might retest a neckline, and if you want to play it, feel free to. We trade 3D systems all the time. I do put sales on this one very often. If you want to look and keep your eyes out on this one for a bullish swing trade, you can do that as well because it is retesting this double bottom neckline, and then $17.73 or $18 would be a target on 3D systems. Here's Tesla. Not a lot to see on Tesla other than it is bullish. The trend is bullish. Buy the dip into the moving averages, and if it breaks the low of 210.96 before earnings, I'm going to eat an entire unpeeled banana. So if you're doing any kind of bull put spreads or something, probably place it below that low. Here's what the weekly chart looks like, and here is the long-term moving averages. So far, so good, right? The 100 simple is at 220.58. I do expect potentially worst case scenario next week, Tesla to retest that 200 and then bounce. But Neil's got to put sale. Stan's got to put sale. People are bullish on Tesla. If you're looking at playing Tesla bullish, that's my analysis. You got it, Jill. Thanks so much for being here. You rock. Have a great day. United States Steel not doing too much today. It is up 5%. Really, it's just trading sideways now because it went on such a gargantuanly strong bullish run. I got the $24 put sale for January. I'll do another one once earnings are over. I might do another one over earnings. Yeah, I'll probably do another 24, 25, 26 over earnings on United States Steel for sometime in February. But really, the trend is bullish still. If you're looking at trading at bullish, my next target is about 41. Buy the dip on U.S. Steel. That's my analysis. It's in the small channel. FireEye, not doing too much, but it did trade right down to the support and bounce again. I look at this particular stock for one trader in particular, Bill, who trades this one pretty often. So back on the 13th of December. So the 13th of December, what day was that? Yep, that was that day right here. So back on the 13th of December, our analysis was watch toward the end of the day. That candle close or break out of inside day candle could be short-term or long-term direction. So you have an inside day candle on the 13th of December. I said, hey, once it closes, if the stock breaks out bullish or bearish, that's probably going to be the direction of the trend. It broke down bearish. You got a flag, and it continued all the rest of the year into this really good support at 1172, which has been this purple line on this chart forever on FireEye, and is bouncing again. So if you're looking at playing FireEye, it's making lower highs on a primary level, but there is some support holding it up. So if you're looking at playing it, buy low, sell high on a short-term to intermediate level, and then hopefully we'll see if on a weekly, long-term perspective, this triangle will ever break out bullish. But this is the area that it needs to if it's going to. Ticker symbol AMD, microprocessors, huge move on AMD. In 2016, this stock increased like 1,000%. It's something bananas on AMD, just wildness. Earnings is coming up on AMD. I'll be interested to see what it does. Really, my analysis on this one's going to be relatively simple. I want it to gap down to here, and then if it does, buy the dip. That's pretty much it. Earnings analysis on AMD. Strong bullish trend, especially in 2016. Buy the dip if on earnings AMD gaps down into the green box at support. Option Man says, a green banana or overly ripe? You know, I haven't really decided yet on the banana wager. Probably be like a neutral banana, like one that's been around for 2 or 3 days on the counter or something. That's going to be rough. I really don't want to do it, but we'll figure it out. Only time will tell. So that's AMD. All right, got it. Next on the list, Micron Technology. Looking like it's trying to go bullish here. It's going to take its time. Here's your exponential moving averages. I trade Micron often, so my analysis on this is going to be very simple. Bullish edge, direction, trend, okay? Trying to form a double bottom. I will play it bullish. I'll play it bullish only after it's bounced off of the 20 EMA. Might consider a put sale. Okay, that's my analysis on Micron. Earnings are over, very bullish gap. Why did I say I want to bounce off the 20? Because that's what we did last time, and then we bounced. So I'll wait for that again and then take it from there. So that's pretty much it. So that's Micron Technology. Here's Pandora, ticker symbol P. And this trade, I missed it by, I guess, a penny. And overall, on this particular trade. It did not trigger on Pandora. So really at this point, what's it going to do? On a weekly chart, it's trading very sideways. There is a nice double bottom here on Pandora. It broke higher, it retested that neckline, and it bounced. So I guess it might try to do it again and bounce, and then possibly form one of the ugliest inverted head and shoulders patterns I've seen in a long time. But that's the only thing I have on Pandora. A little more bearish than bullish. Let it trade down to that neckline of the double bottom on a weekly chart, which is about $11. And then from there, look to buy the dip. NVIDIA finally calming down some after just an insanely strong bullish move. Stan Jewell has a 95 put sale expiring not this Friday, but next Friday. This is a great price because, again, on NVIDIA, you have a really nice double bottom. So really we could be coming back to retest that level, which would be about the 50. So if you're looking at playing NVIDIA, I'm glad that you waited for a pullback. Let's see if we can let this pullback occur and then buy the dip on the 50 exponential moving average on NVIDIA. Definitely will not be the last time we look at this trade. Here's Priceline, ticker symbol PCLM. And Priceline, we've looked at this trade a few times, and realistically, this was the candle that should have given you shivers on the 3rd of January. Nice high wave candle that was literally 60 cents away from being a perfect doji on a $1,400 stock at a 100 simple moving average at a previous all-time high, old resistance, new support. Very good confirmation to go in long, especially after the gap up on the 4th. So what now on Priceline? Well, realistically, you have a great bounce, but you also have some lower highs. Today is almost another doji. So expecting potentially on Priceline a little bit of a pullback and, again, a dip buying opportunity. So one of two things are going to happen on Priceline if you're looking to play it bullish. Let it trade down to the 100 simple moving average, buy the dip at that price, or let it trade sideways softly for the next 3 to 4 days. Yum, 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 yum. And then if it gaps up, that would be the bullish signal for Priceline to likely and potentially continue higher. And last but not least on the day is Expedia. There's a tricky 100 simple. All right, Expedia is definitely going to be on our list as of today to watch for a bullish swing trade, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if that 100 simple is going to be enough to hold it back or not. Here's your weekly chart. I like the one white soldier on a weekly off the 100 simple moving average, also forming a morning star reversal pattern. I don't know if we get a chance to get triggered into this tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. It'll probably be either this week or next. It's officially on my list. I have begun the 18-hour process of planning it. So I got it there on the list on Thursday, and we will watch it again a little bit later. Ladies and gentlemen, that was it for Tech Giant Tuesday. I know that went quick, but I'm loving it. Praveen says, Jeremy, you could cook banana with skin and eat it. Ooh, tricky, tricky. That'd be a good one. I like it. Oh, man, it's going to be interesting. So hopefully it won't have to happen. But Tesla is the stock that I've lost the most wagers on. But I still like to make wagers on Tesla because, hey, you know, it's fun. Interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, here's what we're going to be looking at on Energy Wednesday, which is tomorrow from 5 to 6 Eastern Standard Time. HBI, Berry Plastic, CLG, Monsanto, CLR, EVOK, MACK, GE, eBay, Duke, LNG, First Solar, PayPal, Intel, MRO, Exxon, ETP, Oracle, TG Maxx, Chesapeake, British Petroleum, GBX, and SRPT. You guys are amazing. Thanks so much for being here. You guys are truly making my week a special, magical, and wonderful time. Thank you for helping us enrich lives. If you need anything or have any questions, you know where to find me. Email me, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Slack, however you want to get a hold of me, feel free to reach out. I hope that this week so far has already convinced you to join the Real Life Trading team and family and help us continue to enrich lives around the world. That was our mission. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.